July 19, 2013, 35-year-old Michael Madison was arrested after police, drawn by the stench of decomposing flesh, discovered the remains of Sherelda Terry, 18, in a garage behind his apartment in East Cleveland. The following day, the body of Shatisha Sheely, 28, was discovered in a weeded lot to houses from Madison's apartment, and the remains of Angela Deskins, 38, were discovered in the basement of a vacant house near his home.
There was evidence of decomposition fluid in several parts of the apartment building. There were maggots that were attached to the decomposition fluid.
According to report, Madison kidnapped and killed all 3 women before dumping their bodies in and around his home. Madison was charged with 3 counts of aggravated murder. During the trial, the defense argued that the killings were impulsive and committed in the heat of the moment.
Ladies and gentlemen, is an equal plausible explanation that each one of these individuals was killed with a sudden eruption of violence. He made no effort to bury these bodies and really conceal them, despite the fact that they're in fairly obvious areas, the fact that they were malodorous, the fact that people were complaining about the smell.
But the prosecution argued that Madison's actions were premeditated and calculative.
He killed them in the same way, at the same place, and in a short time frame. Then he disposed of their bodies. To avoid detection from his crimes, he tied 2 of the victims up with duct tape, placing their legs on each side of their head and bending the body in half.
Madison was eventually found guilty of all counts, bringing a sense of closure to the victim's family. During sentencing, Van Terry, one of the victims' father, addresses his daughter's killer.
My name is Van Terry. Father Sherelda Terry. Right now, I guess we're supposed to, in our hearts, forgive this clown who's touched our families, taken my child.
He looked straight at Madison as the defendant grinned at him. At this moment, Terry exploded. Fortunately, Terry was quickly apprehended and taken out of the courtroom. He did not face any additional charges. After a brief recess, the judge addressed the court.
I am struck by the sheer inhumanity of what one human being can do to not one, but 3 human beings. It is incomprehensible. You cajoled, lured, and deceived Shatisha Sheely, Angela Deskins, and Sherelda Terry to your apartment for your depraved purposes. You went on to abuse the corpses of these 3 victims. You stripped them from the waist down. You folded them in half, binding them so that their feet were up by their ears. You wrapped them in multiple layers of trash bags.
Madison was eventually sentenced to death.
Upon consideration of the relevant evidence, the testimony exhibits admitted in mitigation, it is the judgment of this court that the aggravated circumstances of course of conduct, felony murder, kidnapping, felony murder, rape, of which the defendant was convicted, outweigh the mitigating factors by proof beyond a reasonable doubt. Accordingly, the sentence of death is imposed upon the defendant, Michael Madison, on counts 1, 4, and 7.
If you find this video enlightening, kindly give it a thumbs up and subscribe.